Okay, guys, this is I'm gonna make my first video for you guys. It's gonna show us how to make a radial design. I know we're just starting Illustrator. Let me get started. Now I have a Mac, so mine's gonna be a little different. Might look a little different than yours, but we're gonna try it. Let me go to Adobe Illustrator. Okay, so I'm gonna make a new file. And always remember to change this to inches because there are 72 pixels per inch. And if you leave this in pixels or points, your document's going to be too little. If I say to make it 10 by 10 and you make it 10 by 10 pixels, it's going to be teeny tiny. So for this radial design, make it 10 by 10 and create. Now, I want you to also see your toolbar. We want more tools than that. So if yours looks like that, I need you to go up to the word window up here, and I need you to go down to workspace and over to essential classics. Now you should never have to do that again. It should stay that way for you for the rest of the year. So we got more tools now. So what you're going to do is you're going to make a radial design. And I do want to bring in my radial design that I did in class earlier. So let me bring it in so you guys can see it. So I'm going to go to File, and I'm going to place, because I downloaded it, I'm going to go to my downloads, and there it is. I'm going to bring it so you guys can see it. Plug it in there. All right. And here it is. So there's what I did. So this, you're going to make a radial design or a kaleidoscope, which means it's a mirror image on all sides as you go around. So you're going to do it with shapes. Now so I'm going to show you how to make all these shapes right now. So in the meantime, let me bring out this. Let me hide that. I'm going to make a new layer. Okay. So on your toolbar is your shapes. Now, anything on your toolbar that has a little triangle on it, that means you can click on it and you'll see more if there's a triangle. So I'm going to bring out all these shapes so I don't have to keep going to my toolbar just to change shapes. So if I double click on this bar right here, now there's all my shapes and I don't have to keep going back to the toolbar. I will need my move tool and my selection tool and my direct selection tool. So here we go. This is a rectangle. So if I click on it, I'm going to make a rectangle. Now if I want a perfect square, now you're not going to be able to see this because it's white. So if you look on your toolbar, you're going to see this is your fill and this is your stroke. The stroke is like the outline of whatever that shape is. And right here is the fill. Well, my fill is white. So I'm going to change that color. I can change that color a couple different places. One is just by double clicking here, and then I bring up a color picker, and now I can change that color. The other place is up here in the control bar, and I could click and then it gives me a swatches palette, and I could change the color there too. So those are two places. You could also come over here and pull out the palette. You could pull out this one. I mean, there's, and this one. You guys, there's so much in Illustrator. It's unbelievable all the different things you can do in Illustrator. So I'm going to show you just a few things right now just so you could do this radial design. So I could put that rectangle right there. Let's say it's a radial design, so I want it to be mirror image. I want the same rectangle down here on this other bottom. So I'm going to copy this. Now you could copy it several different ways too. You can come up to edit, copy, edit, paste, and I'm going to put it right here. Or on your keyboard, you can do, if you've got a Microsoft, you guys all have Microsofts in here, it's Control-C and Control-V, and then you have another copy. So I'm going to put this one up here. You can also hold your Alt key click on the shape and pull it, and then you've duplicated it. You could do that real fast. So you wanted to make a whole bunch of copies. Well, just keep holding that Alt key and pulling, and you'll get all of them. So I'm going to put this one here, this one here, this one there, and that one there. Okay, so now I've got 4 rectangles. Now let's say there's so many things I want to show you guys. So I'm going to click that one. I'm going to hold the Shift key so that I can select all 4 of them. So I clicked on all 4 of them. I'm going to, again, copy and paste. And this time I'm going to make it smaller. So I'm going to hold my Shift key so that stays in correct proportion. And I'm going to go like that. I think I'll rotate it. So to rotate, you come outside. You always make sure you're on that black arrow, which is your selection tool. So I'm going to come right outside, and I'm going to do that and just kind of rotate it. I don't know if I like that or not, but I'm doing it right now. So I did that. Okay. So now your black arrow right here, the black arrow is your selection tool. It allows you to move objects or to change size. So I can pull on these anchor points and I can make it bigger, littler, and move it. The direct selection tool is the white arrow. If I click on it, I can change that shape. I can do some really weird stuff with my shapes if I want to with that direct selection tool, because that selects the anchor points. And let me show you that with a circle. So if I use a circle, and it works the same way. If I want an oval, I could just do that. If I want it to be a perfect circle, I'm going to hold my Shift key on my keyboard, and I'm going to go like that. Now, so you see the lines that go across, those red lines across there when I'm on the black arrow and I selected it. If I get on the white arrow, which is the direct selection tool, then those red lines around it go away. But now you can see these points real good. These are those anchor points like I just did with that square. If I click on it, got to click and then move it, I can move it. These that stick out from there are the handles. Now they will also give me I could do some fun stuff. Flip it around, do that. So that is pretty cool in itself. So you could have some really cool shapes going on. So do that. And I also want to show you how to make a gradient. I did that again. Let's see. Let's come here. And let's say I want this to be a gradient, which means I want different colors inside there besides just that blue. Well, I'm going to come over here where my palettes are, or panels, as that one video called it. Panels, palettes. And here's the gradient tool. Now, if I can't find that gradient tool or the gradient palette over here, all your palettes are under window. So there's gradient. So I did it that way. Now I'm going to click in here. By default, if you haven't put a gradient on anything yet, it's going to be black and white, but we could change those colors. I'm going to click right there. Also, by default, it usually goes linear. So the type is linear right now. I want it to be, because I'm doing a radial design, so I want it to be radial. So I'm going to click that one. Now the outside's black, the inside's white. I can change those colors. If I double click on that little circle, then it's going to bring up this, or I like to use the little swatches so I could see more of them. I'm going to click on that one. So there it is. It's that color. It's red now. Now, this one is white. I want to change it to yellow. There we go, red and yellow. And then I think I want to add a color in the middle. You can add as many colors as you want if you really want to get crazy. But I'm just going to add one. So if I click right underneath that bar, it'll give me another circle. So I'm going to click on it, and I'm going to change the color of it to, what should I change it to? Maybe a yellow-orange. And there, and we have that. Now you can also slide these, and see how that changes in there. So I have that. There's also on your toolbar, there is the gradient tool. Now if I click on that, and you see it brings these lines out here. What that allows me to do is play with the radius of that gradient, or I could change the angle. So if I could come here and pull, and I could change the angle of that, and then I could still make that circle bigger. So I could do all sorts of stuff with that gradient too by playing with that tool. So I have that. Now, how do I change order of shapes? Let's say I got this here, but I want that rectangle to be in front. Well, while this one's on there, I would come up to the word object. I'm going to go down to arrange, and I'm going to send it to the back. So now my rectangle's in front. But maybe I want that rectangle to be transparent. I want to be able to see through it. I want to still see that circle behind it. I'm going to move it so I can play with it here. So I want to find the transparency palette. Well, over here, I know these two little circles right here. This one with it's transparent and looks like there's one behind it. That is my transparency. Now, to get it more transparent, you take the opacity down. Remember, the word opacity means opaque, so the higher the opacity, the more you cannot see through it, because if something's opaque, you cannot see through it. Transparent means you can see through it. So I'm going to click right here, and I'm going to take this little slider bar down, and you could see that rectangle being more and more transparent. If I took it all the way down, you couldn't see it. If I leave it up, you see the whole thing. So I'm going to go maybe right there. That's kind of cool. So I could see through it right there. All right, another thing I want to show you is how to, well, I've already showed you how to duplicate and put that over. But let's say I've got these two, let's say I want this shape right here too. Maybe I want this like that. And then that's pretty cool. I want that. So I'm going to delete all these because I don't want these anymore. I decided I don't want them. I just click on them and hit the back keyboard. I get mine's delete. Yours says I forget what your keyboard says. It says backspace. Yours says backspace. So just click and it'll delete it when you click on backspace. So you select it and you hit backspace. You can also say, let's say I hit the backspace and it went away. Ooh, I didn't want that to go away. Remember, edit, undo. That's your friend. Edit, undo, clear. And now it comes back. So remember that, edit, undo. So I have these three shapes right here. I want to be able to click on it and move it all in one unit. So I can take, while I'm on that black arrow, go around all of them. So I've selected all of them. You see the little red lines? That means they're all selected. I'm going to go up to the word object. I'm going to go down to group. And now they are all grouped. So now, no matter what I do, these are all going to play as one unit. So now, depending on how I want my design to look, I can do that. And now I'm going to copy and paste it. So I'm going to hold my Alt key just because it's easy. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that because I want 4 of them. I'm going to put 1 in each corner. So I'm going to take it, and it'll stay grouped because the other one was grouped. So this is grouped, so they'll all be grouped. Let me move that out of my way so I can see in the corner of my canvas there. Okay, so I'm going to take it. I'm going to rotate it. Oops, click. Rotate it. And remember, I want it to be mirror image. So that's not really mirror because this is this way. You see the angle of that, and this is going down. So I'm going to flip it. So I'm going to go up to the word object. I'm going to go to transform. And I'm going to reflect it. And I'm going to reflect it horizontally so it goes up. So I'm hoping this does right. So I'm going to say horizontally, and I'm going to say OK. And it still didn't do what I wanted it to do. Let's see if I turn this. But now I can rotate it, and it's facing the same the mirror image of this one. because it's a radial design I'm making. So I want it to be mirror image, the two of them. Now what I could have done, let me do this because I want to show you this. So I want these two to look just like that, but mirror image down here at the bottom. So I'm going to click this one. I'm going to hold my shift key and hold that one. And then I'm going to go ahead and group the two of them just so it's easier. So I'm going to group those two. And then I'm going to copy them and paste them. So copy and paste. So now I have two of them. Now I want to flip those. So again, I'm going to go to Object Transform, and I'm going to reflect it. And I'm reflecting it horizontally so it goes up and down. And that's what I want to do. And now, I'll say OK, because that's what I wanted. And so now I'm going to take these down here at this corner, these two corners. So see, I have that right there. So that's kind of nice. Now, if you want to color your whole background color, the background so it's not white, you're going to make a big rectangle. And I didn't want that. I want a solid color. So I'm going to double click in here, and I'm just going to make it a, I think, maybe, yeah, a color like that. I still have to, so I could go up and down this bar, but I still have to come over inside here and decide the color I want. Let's say that color. Okay, I want it to be behind, so I'm going to go up to Object, Arrange, and Send to Back. Okay, now these don't show very well anymore because of that color. I might want to change that color, but I want to show you guys how to do a drop shadow. So I'm going to click on this. You remember now I've grouped these. So if I click on the one on the left, it's also on the one on the right. I'm going to go ahead and hold my shift and click those two. So now all four of these are selected. I want to give them a drop shadow. So I'm going to go to Effect, and then I'm going to go down to Stylize, and I'm going to give it a drop shadow. Oh, you see what that did? So when I click on drop shadow, I'm going to get this other panel that's going to come up, and it's going to let me play with that drop shadow. I could change the color of that drop shadow or leave it black. I kind of like black because it really makes it look like a shadow. And then I can also play with the offset. I could sit here and change directions of it, whether I want it up higher or lower, you know, to see how it's moving. So I can do that. I'm going to leave it like that, and I'm going to say, okay, that's kind of cool. Okay? So that's what I want you to do. I want you to play with. Let me show you. There's so much. There's so much I want to show you. Let's say I got a star. So if I do that, I'm just going to get a star. So I have a star. Let me change that color so you can see it. Let me make it, let's make it red. That's good. Okay, so move tool. I'm going to move it. I'm going to rotate it. But you know, that's 5 points. That's not really radial because I can cut it in half. It'll be the same this and here, but it wouldn't be the same this way. So maybe I want 6 sides, 6 points instead of 5. So I'm going to delete that. I'm going to show you how to do that. So you click on the star, which I could have clicked up there too. I went back here, didn't I? Click on the star, come on your canvas, and double click 1, 2. And then it's going to bring up this panel. And I could say I want 6 points on my star. So I'm going to say, okay, and now I got 6 points. So now I could put that somewhere. And I can, remember, if you want it in the right proportion, you've got to hold the shift key. And I want it really big, but I want it under the circles, but I do want it above the background. So I'm going to go to Object. Sometimes this works, sometimes it doesn't. So let me show you what I'm talking about. I'm going to go to Arrange. I'm going to send it backwards and see what it does. And see, it doesn't work. And I don't know why. It's something that since I've been playing, oh, it did work. It did work. It worked on one of them, but not on these others. So let me do it again. Let's go Object, Arrange, Send backwards. Sometimes it doesn't work at all, and I have to send it all the way back and then all the way forward again. But oh, there, it did what I wanted it to. There we go. So now it's behind. I think I want to put a gradient on it too, though. So let me come in here and put a gradient on it. Ooh, that's kind of nice. I kind of like that. I think it's too yellow though, so I'm gonna too yellow in the middle. I want to change that. I don't like it that yellow. Let me change it. Yeah, I'll take that. Let's say I don't want this middle one. I'm going to take it off. So I'm going to grab it and just drag it down, and now it's gone. So now it's gone. Okay, so that's kind of cool. So remember that. I'm telling you a lot, but at least this is a video. You can replay it as many times as you want. Anyway, keep working. Keep playing with those shapes. Remember the anchor points. So if I make another star, let me make another star. Say I make a star. I can get on that direct selection tool. Now let me show you these little things. See these little circles right here? They will also do stuff. If I click on one of those, watch what happens. If I click on it and pull, see what it does? It does some different stuff too. Let's pull on this one. What is this going to do? Oh, that's kind of cool. So the best way to learn is to get in there and play. So I can't stress that enough. Just get in there and start playing. I'm going to give that a drop shadow because I want it to stick out. So effect, stylize, drop, and okay. See how it looks like it's floating now. So I do make sure yours is more than that because that's not very many. It's kind of plain on the side, so keep doing it. But watch your colors. Remember the color schemes. If your colors if you got too many colors, it's going to look really gaudy and ugly. But if you don't have enough colors, it's going to look kind of dull. So do play with colors, but limit your colors as well. You don't want too many. Think of those color schemes. This color scheme is blue, and it's kind of a reddish orange, yellow orange. So it's almost like a split complement color scheme, which is a good one to use. And then keep in mind this one. And this didn't take me very long either. So hopefully this video will help you. I'm going to post it, and hopefully you can, this will help you.